Hello friends, hi guys, I've been MIA. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I went to the beach. I went to the beach last weekend, but I got a piece of sand in my eye that ended up being a whole debacle and a whole thing, but I'm better now. He's doing okay. So we're back on the internet, we're back at the things. I wanted to talk to you guys quickly about blogging habits. I think it was Christina asked about blogging habits. I also saw you asking about morning routines and stuff like that. So I'll share with you guys my thoughts. I don't have any magic solutions for you. I've shared with you guys my goal setting process. You guys, I feel know a lot of my habits already, but I'll just, my thoughts are this, right? So I think a lot of people love to sell this idea that you can set a morning routine and then that's how you become successful, right? So, and this is what I think about it. So, I think there's a lot, especially a couple years ago, probably in the last couple years, there's been a lot of books about morning routines, creating the perfect morning routine, the morning routines of CEOs. All these successful people have morning routines. You need a morning routine, you need a morning routine, right? And this is what I think. I think whatever you believe you need to be successful is what you need, right? So if I believe that I have to have a morning routine to be successful, then I do. I don't personally subscribe to that because I don't like to be committed to doing something every single day. But I do have a morning routine and I do have morning practices that I do. But if I don't feel like doing them, I don't. I know if I'm busy or tired or whatever, I don't do it. And I don't tell myself stories about that impeding on my success, right? I don't tell myself, oh my gosh, I didn't do my morning routine. My work's not going to be as good. I'm not going to get as much done. I can't believe I did that. I don't tell any stories. It doesn't mean anything, right, to me, except that I took the time to take care of myself and my success is inevitable and I don't need to worry about it, right? So if your success is inevitable and you're going to be successful no matter what, then would you want to do a morning routine, right? Because otherwise you're doing it out of fear. You're doing it out of fear that you don't think you can make it, right? Fear that you're going to fail, that you need something to make sure you find success. And we don't make decisions out of fear, right? We make decisions out of certainty. So if you were certain of your success, you knew you were going to make it, you knew you were going to have everything, no matter what would you want to do? And if you still feel yeah, I want a morning routine, I really want those habits, I really want to be taking better care of myself, I really want to push myself, in this season of my life or this quarter or this month or whatever it is, I really want to push myself to get up earlier and spend my time better, but if you feel hell no, I don't want to do that. If I knew I was going to make multiple six figures no matter what, I don't really want to do that. It's well, that's not probably really going to serve you that well, right? I think the way we find success is following your heart and your soul. So it's does your heart and your soul want you to have a morning routine, right? So my morning routine, I went through this whole process with this, you guys, because you guys know that I love personal development. I also am super guilty of being on every trend ever, right? Anytime anything trendy comes around, I'm I got to read the Hunger Games. I got to do the morning routines. I got to do what everyone's talking about. And so when morning routines, Miracle Morning came out and morning routines were the thing a couple years ago, I got really into it. And I made myself do these really rigid routines and I hated it. It did not flow well for me at all. I really struggled with it. I could never keep up with it. I didn't want to do it. But now I have a morning routine that I friggin' love doing. And when it makes me feel so good and I notice such a difference that I actually want to do it every day. And when I skip it or when I don't have time to do it, or even if I'm traveling and I know I'm not going to have time to do all my things, I'm man, I'm just not going to have such a great day. So I'll just tell you guys what I do. My morning routine, on an ideal morning, and I don't hold myself to this, right? It's what I feel like doing. If on a different day I'm called to do this in a different order, if I'm called to not do something or do something else, right? I do that. But generally this is what I do. I wake up, I meditate. This morning I did a 20-minute guided meditation. Sometimes I just sit, sometimes I just sit in quiet, most of the time I would say I do guided meditation. So I do guided meditation and then I will journal affirmations. I just will free write whatever comes out, but I really think it's powerful for me anyway to take my journal and just affirm the crap out of myself, right? I'm just and I do this a lot with my business, right? I did this morning with my business because I've had all this fear coming up lately about my business and some things that are happening. And so I was just like, growing my business is quickly and easily. I'm a strong leader. I always know the right things to do. I'm here to make a massive impact. Everything I do, is changes lives. All the content I make is powerful. I just affirm the crap out of myself, right, as a business owner, because I've had all this fear about like, I don't know how to run a business and who am I to do this and everything's getting too big and I don't know what I'm doing. And so I've been affirming myself around that. And it can be like whatever fear is coming up for you, right? Because fear never serves you. I always believe like we have to step back into your truth. And your truth is like your highest, most actualized person, right? Your highest, most actualized being. And so emotions that are heavy, that make you feel bad, that make you feel like crap are not part of your truth, right? So fear, when you're being negative and mean to yourself, all of that negativity, I'm always trying to clear. I'm always trying to clear because I'm always trying to get to my truth and to my highest actualized self. And I can't do that if I have all this like negativity bopping around, right? So I'm like working through the fear right now. So I just free write like affirmations. I don't do this for like hours, you guys. Like a lot of times my meditation is like, I can do this all in like under an hour or even less if I have to. Like, I'll do 5-minute meditation, freaking 5-minute journaling. And then my favorite part of my morning routine, honestly, is I make iced coffee right now because I live in Florida, but I'll make coffee and I'll go walk the dog and listen to a podcast. And it's just like, that's my morning routine, right? I love that. It makes me feel so inspired. It makes me feel so good. It's like so powerful for me to like move my body in the morning. And I used to make myself go to the gym and I don't anymore. I don't. I like walking. I like walking the dog and listening to podcasts, and I really love that. So it's like, if I can do a form of exercise that I really love, why am I going to make myself go to the gym? You know what I mean? And it gives me creative ideas. It makes me feel good. So my goal, I have an episode kind of about this. It's called like the creative magic zone. But my goal is always to be inspired, right? And I'm always like, every morning I'll have this like little voice of like doubt and panic come into my brain that's like, I don't have anything to say. What am I going to say to my people today? People need me to say something. I don't have anything to say to them. And then I'm like, no, I'm just going to clear this out, do my morning routine. I know the perfect thing will come to me. The right thing always comes to me. I always know the right thing to say, right? And I'll reaffirm myself. And then when going through that morning routine really, really helps me. And I kind of set the intention that by the time I'm done with the dog walk, that I know what to say, that I have something powerful to say, that I have a powerful message, that I know what to say to my people, and I'll feel called and I'll know what people need from me, like what I'm supposed to create, what I'm supposed to say, what I'm supposed to do. And I don't think it's because of the dog walk. I think it's because I set the intention. I set the intention that like by 8 o'clock every day, I know like pretty much like what I need to do that day as on a spiritual level, right? On a creative level. Like what do I need to create? What do I need to say? What do I need to do? Does that make sense? And so I don't think that there's any like magical habits that are necessarily the answer, right? I think it depends on like your belief. If I believe meditating every day is something that successful people do every day, and you have to do that to be successful, then that's what I'm gonna have to do, right? Because I believe that, because I've told myself that story. But if I tell myself my success is inevitable, my only job is to feel good and feel inspired, then what do you want your morning routine to be, right? If you know you're gonna be successful no matter what, and you're divinely supported, you're divinely guided, and your only job is to be inspired and creative and feel good, right? I'm inspired and creative when I feel good, right? So that's my job. So then what do you want your morning routine to be? Does that make sense? But don't make a morning routine out of fear that you're gonna fail, or fear that other people are doing things, so I have to do it too, right? I fall into this all the time. Like I'll see other people doing things and I'm like, like my one of my coworkers, Cora Lynn, is like really successful, and I love her. She's just on fire lately, and she goes to the gym every day at 5. And then there's part of my brain that's like, do I need to go to the gym every day at 5? Like she's going to the gym every day at 5. You know what I mean? But it's like, no, like that's not like my truth. That's not what makes me feel good. Like getting up to go to the gym at 5 in the morning sounds awful to me. It doesn't sound fun at all. It sounds like a big struggle fest. It sounds like I'm setting myself up for failure. I'm sure it would feel good once I got there, but it's just not worth the effort, right? I could spend that emotional energy getting myself to do something else instead of going to the gym. I do go to the gym still, but just like in the evenings. I just find it like during the day, I just like to be inspired and not worry about working out. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I don't have any magical like like tips for you. Like I don't have any magical habits, and I don't believe that there's any habits that you have to do. I think the only thing that you have to do is feel really good, feel excited about your life, feel inspired. If you can do those things, being like, I really feel like blogging is like being a full-time creative. Like you're making content, like, you know, you're making things, you have to have things to say. And so to me, it's like you're a full-time creative. And I take that really seriously. It's like, you know, my job is to feel good, to feel inspired, to feel aligned, right? I read a lot of books, that keeps me inspired, but it's about what makes you feel good, what makes you excited about life. If you have a boring ass life and you're unhappy about your life and you're not doing well, like it's gonna be really hard to make it in business. It just is. And people can feel your energy online, right? And it's not about like, if you're unhappy, you can't make it. Like that's not what I'm saying. But I always want to make divinely inspired content for people. And to do that, I have to feel good and feel my best. And so to me, that's the job, right? The job is to be creative. And to do that, I have to feel good and feel my best. So then it's like, what habits do you need to feel good and feel your best? And what do you need to do to be excited about life, right? Last night, I wrote a whole email about this to my other email list. But last night I did like a full moon ritual, right? And it's not about the full moon being magic. It just makes me excited. It's just like feels really special and exciting. It feels magical, you know, and it gets me in a really magical, inspired like place where I feel like, oh, it's a full moon, and I get really excited about it, right? It's like, what can you have in your life that makes you excited? Does that make sense? Like, what can you get excited about? What can you feel good about? What makes you feel good, right? Those kind of things. And then put those into your routine. Does that make sense? So I hope this was like somewhat helpful. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, just about like, I'm sorry, I keep like messing with things on the table. I've been thinking about that a lot because last night I did this like whole full moon ritual, and it feels so magical to me and it feels so good. But the things that we're doing were just normal things like I do anyway. Like I clean the house, like I set all these intentions of things I want to let go of, things I want to release. And then I clean my house as like a symbol of like releasing and like letting things go, right? And it feels so freaking good to me, but it's like I'm just sweeping the floor. Like I'm not doing anything like crazy, right? I'm not like going to the Grand Canyon or like having some magical experience. I'm just setting the intention that this is special. I'm just setting the intention that this time is magical. And it's like literally everything I do on the full moon day feels magical as heck to me. So I'm really trying to step more into that. I really want to start stepping into that feeling more intentionally, just making the things I have to do every day like more magical and special and less boring. The less like bored you are with your life, the more intentional and engaged you are in your life, the more you take time to like feel love, feel joy in your body, feel positive emotions in your body, set intentions to make things special, set intentions to feel good. The more you kind of exist in that loving, caring place for yourself, the more you can show up for other people, right? We can't you just can't like make great content if you're not taking care of yourself, if you don't value yourself. Does that make sense? So I would say create a morning routine from that place. I love myself. I honor myself. My life is really special and joyful. Then what do you want your morning routine to be? Not like, what do CEOs do? What is so-and-so doing? What do I think I have to do? Like, what is your heart and your soul calling you to do? This is a question I journal on a lot lately, and it's really been helping me. And I'll just ask myself, what does my soul need more of? What does your soul need more of? And what does your soul need less of? Like journal on those two things. And that'll tell you everything you need to know, right? It's like, I mean, what does your soul need more? What do you need more of in life? And how can you start giving that to yourself and provide those feelings, the way you want to feel, to yourself? Like create situations, set the intention to make your day magical, to make your day special, to honor yourself, to feel good, all those different things, right? And whatever you have to do in the morning to do that is what you should do for your morning routine, I think. This is probably not the answer people wanted, but you guys know that I always tell you what I think, right? I feel like people a lot of times want me to come on here and be like, to be successful, do this, this, and this. And I'm always just like, follow your heart. I think it's kind of frustrating for a lot of people, but that's what I think. So I'm just going to tell you guys what I think. I hope you guys are having a great day. I don't think I have anything else to say about habits or routines. I mean, I'll set a calendar, but even my calendar and schedule changes a lot, to be honest with you. Like I told you guys, I do the time blocking thing, but then last week was like, you know, I got sand in my freaking eye. I went to the doctor. I'm like running around. I'm like trying to get everything done. I have a million balls in the air, and it's just like, it is what it is, right? It's like, if a podcast goes out, a podcast goes out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not going to like live and die by that calendar. I'm not, right? If it helps me and it makes me feel joyful and it makes me feel aligned, it makes me feel productive, I'm getting my things done, then I'll use the time blocking. But if it's like this week where it's like things are overwhelming, we just kind of got to roll with it. I got to go sit in the ER, you know, for half of the day. And like, you know, that threw off my whole week. I feel like when Monday starts off bad, it's just like, it's so hard to get back on track for me because I'm just behind. I'm just already so behind. And so it's like, you know, if time blocking is not serving me this week, I'm not going to do it. I'm only going to do it if it serves me, if it makes me feel good, if it is helping me, like, you know what I mean? It makes me feel supported. But if it's making me feel overwhelmed and stressed out and like I can't do it and like I don't want to do it, it feels restrictive and uninspiring, you know, the calendar's like out the window, and I just switched back to like doing a to-do list. So it's like I have habits, but I'm also like a very highly creative person, and I don't force myself to work in an ecosystem that doesn't work for me, right? It's like some weeks, like being on that time block really feels really good. It feels really good to like hammer out projects, be productive, you know, follow the schedule. And there's other weeks like this week where it's like, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. I got things that like have to be done. I had like a lot of things that had to happen urgently, and I'm not going to like live and die by that calendar. And I don't have any like qualms about that, right? My only job is to feel good, right? To make my life as joyful and easy as I can, because I can't be a leader for my people if I'm depressed, right? Because you guys know I have clinical depression. I can end up like, you know, in bed for months if I let myself, you know, I just can't. I don't have time for that. I've got too many people to take care of. I have too many people to show up for. And so it's really important to me that I feel good as much as possible. Not all the time, but sand in the eye. I hope you're feeling better. Oh my God, it was such a debacle. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I was like whining on Instagram all week. They had to like get this, I had a piece of sand like behind my eyeball. They had to like pry it out. It was like the worst. It was so bad. Like, so anyway, and my whole eye, I woke up, I went to sleep and I knew something was in my eye, but I just kept washing it and like hoping it would like come out. And I woke up and I looked like someone punched me in the face. So like all down here was like swollen, my eyes like swollen shut. I was just like, I have to go to a doctor. Like, I don't know what to do, you know? And then I'm at my parents' house. I couldn't go to my normal doctor. It was like a saga. It was just like such a saga. And it screwed up my week because, you know, Monday is always my biggest work day. I always am like, hit it hard Monday, like get everything done on Monday. I schedule a ton of things on Monday. I always want to like start the week big and then kind of taper off. And then usually by Thursday or Friday, I'm like working kind of normal hours and like whatever. So I had all this stuff scheduled for Monday, and then I ended up sitting in the walk-in clinic all day, and it screwed my week up. But it's just like, it is what it is, right? And I think it's important too when you're doing habits. It's like, if I don't have time to do my morning routine, if I don't have to, like, don't feel like doing my time blocking, it doesn't mean anything about me as a person. It doesn't mean anything about my success. It doesn't mean that I can't still be massively successful, right? It's like, the powerful thing is the story you tell yourself about the routine. If I tell myself this routine is going to change my life, this routine is going to bring me success, then it is, right? And if I tell myself, oh, I messed up my routine, now my business is going to suffer and I'm not good and I'm always screwing things up and I can't ever stay, you know, I can't ever build habits. If I tell those stories, right, then that's what it means. It's like, you know, the powerful thing I think isn't the routine, it's the story you tell yourself about what it means. You know, what does it mean to you when you miss your morning routine, or when you do your morning routine every day, and all those different things. So just watch the stories that you're telling yourself, right? Because I start doing that, you know, I'll be like, oh my gosh, like I'm not following my calendar, like, oh, like it's like, no, like I get to be successful no matter what. It doesn't mean anything about me. It doesn't mean anything about my business. It doesn't mean anything about my success. It just means that I'm doing things different this week, and things are going to be a little bit more chaotic, and that's fine, right? It is what it is. And next week, hopefully things will calm down. Anyway, okay, I hope this was helpful. I feel like I could talk to you guys forever. I gotta get off of here. I gotta go do some other things. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.